Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking into a bunch of sources you sent over, focusing on something I think a lot of us feel, that the world of money just seems to work differently for people at the top.
It really does seem that way sometimes. And yeah, these sources tackle that directly. They talk about this financial playbook the wealthy often use, a set of habits, principles, things you just don't learn in school usually.
Right.
And it taps right into that feeling maybe the system's a bit rigged or, even if you work hard, really building wealth feels tough, out of reach sometimes.
That's exactly it. So our mission here for this deep dive is to kind of pull back the curtain on that. Let's extract the key insights, the specific things from this material. We want to get how the wealthy approach money differently and maybe figure out what principles you could actually use wherever you are right now financially.
So number 10, money buys time, not just stuff. Now, the typical view, as the source points out, is, money's for buying things. Cars, gadgets, vacations.
Yeah, the tangible things you can see, touch right away.
Exactly. But the shift here, the big one highlighted in the source, is that the wealthy often see money, maybe primarily, as a tool to buy back their time.
How does that actually work, though? Still sounds a bit abstract.
No, it gets really practical. The sources talk about using money to outsource the low-value tasks. Think about errands, cleaning, home maintenance, even scheduling appointments, admin stuff.
Okay, so paying someone else for the necessary stuff that doesn't need their specific skills.
Precisely. And the why behind it, according to this playbook, it's because they see their own time as like their most valuable asset. It's finite, right?
Yeah.
So offloading those routine tasks frees them up.
Frees them up for
the high-value activities. Things like high-level strategy for their business, finding new investments, building key relationships, or honestly, just having time to think or spend quality time with family.
Right, the things that actually build long-term wealth or improve well-being.
Those are the high-leverage activities, yeah. So the lesson here for you, coming straight from this material, is that shift in perspective. Stop seeing money just for consumption. See it as a tool to buy freedom, basically, and invest your time better.
It's a powerful way to think about it. Okay, principle number 9. Your network is your net worth. Heard this phrase before, but how does the source say the wealthy actually do this?
Well, they really internalize that connections aren't just, nice extras. They're critical financial assets. The material hammers this home who, can be just as important as what you know or how much cash you have.
So they're intentional about it.
Yeah.
Building a network of driven people.
Super intentional. It's about cultivating real connections with successful peers. The source mentions things like joining specific communities, going to certain events, deliberately spending time with people who are excelling, not just socially, but for the shared ideas, the different perspectives.
And the payoff. What's the tangible benefit the source points to?
Access. Access to opportunities that most people just don't see. Could be early investment deals, insights into market shifts before they happen, finding partners, mentors, getting trusted advice. It's like an inside track.
Okay. But it could sound a bit like... Number 8 is about something that scares a lot of people. They use debt differently. Most of us hear debt and think bad.
And often for good reason. The source really highlights this contrast. Most people, when they use debt, it's for consumption, right? Car loans on depreciating cars, credit cards for stuff that's long gone. That's what the source calls bad debt. It just drains your money.
But the wealthy, they see it as a tool, strategically.
Exactly. They focus on good debts. This isn't debt for, holidays or fancy dinners. It's debt used to buy assets, things that will either grow in value or, importantly, generate income.
Okay, principle 7 feels like the dream for a lot of folks. They don't trade time for money forever.
Yeah, for most people, income is tied directly to hours worked, right?
Yeah.
Salary, hourly wage. You work X hours, you get paid Y. This source material says a major goal for the wealthy is breaking that direct link, escaping that cycle.
How do they manage that jump?
By building systems that generate income passively. So creating ways to make money that don't need them to be constantly actively involved. The examples given are things like rent from properties, profits from businesses run by others, investment returns like dividends.
So it's less about working harder and harder and more about setting things up so money flows in even when they're sleeping, essentially.
That's the idea. The source uses a great analogy. Instead of just carrying buckets of water back and forth from the well that's trading time for money.
Okay. Number 5 flows from that long-term view. They think long-term.
And this might be the biggest mindset shift of all. So many people are focused on, this week's bills, the next paycheck. The wealthy, according to this source, operate on a much longer timeline. Years, decades, even generations.
And the source suggests real wealth isn't built overnight, right? It takes that time.
Absolutely. Forget get rich quick. The source emphasizes they focus on planting seeds, investing in things like stocks, businesses, real estate, and then having the patience, the discipline to let them grow, to let compounding work its magic over time.
And investing in themselves is part of that long-term planting too.
Oh, absolutely critical, according to this material. They see their own knowledge, their skills, their health even as their number one asset. So investing in books, courses, mentors, coaching, staying healthy, that's not an expense. It's a long-term investment in their ability to earn and manage more wealth. Patience, consistency, long view.
Patience. That's the tough one sometimes. Number 4 follows right on from that self-investment. They never stop learning.
And the interesting point the source makes here is that the learning doesn't stop when they become successful. Often, it actually speeds up.
Really? Success doesn't make them complacent.
Apparently not. The opposite, maybe. They understand the world changes constantly. Markings shift, technology advances. Staying ahead means always learning. The source mentions reading constantly, going to seminars, listening to podcasts, talking with other smart, successful people.
Because the more they learn, the more they can potentially earn or protect what they have.
That seems to be the core belief presented. They stay curious, they stay humble, always open to new ideas, challenging what they think they know. Financial education isn't like a course you finish, it's lifelong, and it always pays off.
Lifelong learning. Good perspective. Okay, number 3. Sounds simple, but the source says it's huge. They pay themselves first.
Yeah, this is described as a real cornerstone principle. What it means is, before the mortgage, before groceries, before anything else, as soon as income hits their account, a set amount goes straight to savings or investments. First.
So treating saving like it's the most important bill they have, a bill they pay to their future self.
Exactly like that. It's non-negotiable. That forces the habit of consistently building wealth. It flips the script, right? Most people pay everyone else, then save what's left, if anything is left. The wealthy save first, then figure out how to live on the rest.
And the source mentioned you don't need to start with massive amounts for this to work.
Not at all. The power is just doing it consistently. Even if it's just, say, 10% of your income put aside religiously, over time with compounding. That consistency can be life-changing.
Okay, down to the last 2 principles. Number 2 builds on using money and debt wisely.
Value fast. Luxury items that just sit there. Lots of consumer debt. Things that drain cash.
Didn't the source have a good comparison for this?
Yeah, it did. It contrasted something like a really expensive watch, a Rolex maybe, with a rental property. The watch turns heads, signals, status maybe, but it's usually losing value. It's a liability, a rental property. Might be less flashy, nobody sees it day to day, but it's putting cash in your pocket every month. It's building wealth. One show, the other's substance.
Show versus substance. That really clarifies it. Okay, that brings us to principle number 1. According to this source material, this is kind of the big secret that ties it all together.
And it sounds almost too simple. They let their money work for them.
Meaning, it's not just about them working hard for the money anymore.
Exactly. That's the cycle they aim to break out of. This principle is about flipping that, getting the money they've already accumulated to start generating more money, all on its own, without their direct effort.
Through investing.
Through consistent investing, yeah. Understanding compound interest and letting it work for them over decades, taking calculated risks, not just gambling, but informed decisions.
Building those financial systems, those pipelines we talked about earlier.
That's exactly it. The ultimate goal described is creating a situation where their wealth grows and throws off income passively, so they don't have to keep trading their time for money forever. The final image the source uses here is planting financial seeds, watering them, and letting time and compounding grow them into, well, a forest.
Planting seeds and letting them grow. A powerful summary of that long-term patient approach this playbook describes.
Yeah, it captures that shift from you being the only engine creating income to building systems where your money becomes a major contributor too.
So after going through all these principles from the source material, and any big change, financially speaking, the source says it starts with just one step. A single action.
Right. Simple examples they give are things like maybe just commit to saving 5% more this month, or pick up one book about investing, or even just decide consciously, okay, I'm taking control, no more autopilot with my finances.
It really sounds like the journey starts with that mindset shift, followed by consistent, deliberate action.
Absolutely. These principles aren't just rules on a page. They're like a different lens, a different way to look at money and how you build wealth over time.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on, reflecting on this deep dive. Based on everything we've unpacked from the source material today, what's maybe one specific concrete first step, something genuinely doable for you that you could take, maybe even starting now, to apply one of these principles? Maybe letting your money work for you, or paying yourself first, or thinking longer term. And just imagine, if you took that one step consistently, how might that compound? How could that single action change your financial path down the road?